Hello and welcome. This is Karen Hightower, design team member over at Stamp TV for Gina K Designs. Today I want to share this card project with you. So come on in, pull up a chair, get comfy, and I will show you everything I used to create it, and then we'll get started. I have this new stamp set. It just came out in the new Stamp TV kit, Painted Autumn. I will be using the line art image and the background image for the flowers, and then I'll be using this fuller one and the line art. I won't be using the middle one for this today. And then I'll be using this big saying here. It says there's always something to be grateful for. So I love this set. It's been so much fun playing with it. I also have the 3D foam squares. I have a piece of white layering weight cardstock. It is cut at 2 by 2 3/4. I'm going to use that for the greeting on the front. Then I have a white layering weight panel here that measures 3 3/4 by 5 with the dark chocolate layer for the background behind this one. And it's an 1/8 of an inch larger all the way around. I'll have the measurements under the video afterwards. I also have a piece of the white layering, heavy base weight white cardstock. I also have created the inside already with a layer of the dark chocolate, the white layering weight, and then I stamped one of the flowers and the leaves, and I also used a piece of Gina K's dark chocolate gingham ribbon. We'll be using that on the front as well. I also have 6 different ink colors that we'll be using. I have tomato soup, peach Bellini, that's going to be for the flower. Then I have the jelly bean green and the dark sage for the leaves. I have the ocean mist and the dark chocolate. We're going to start with the ocean mist for the background. And I'm going to sponge on all the way around, but not a whole lot, not real heavy. Except for I know how I want to lay it out. So I'll put a little darker ink like through here, but I don't want too much because I don't want it to mess up the color of my flowers. So I'm just going to go around the edges. And then after I stamp all this on here, I went back and added ink. So I'll show you how I did that. Like I said, I don't want too much blue on here. I don't want it to interfere with my flowers, but I do want to lay a little bit down so there's a little bit of color. Okay, let's do the flowers. Now on this card, you can see where it's not lined up. I did this on purpose. It seems that you can line it up or you can not line it up as well. If you get it off, it's okay. It kind of reminds me of the watercolored images on cards you see, and how the ink will, or the paint will go outside the lines, or the lines don't quite catch the whole ink of it all. So that's the way I did it. And believe it or not, when you're trying to not line it up and to stamp it crooked, sometimes you get it right on the mark. So it's quite fun to do. So that's what we're going to do today on this card. So let's get started with the solid image. Here's this comes on the stamp set when you get it in the kit, and you can see how it looks kind of like a heart. So that tells me to stamp it like that, and then this will be going on top of it, and I line it up with the line art here where it's kind of thicker and comes to this point. It kind of looks like that heart, and that's how I lined it up. So that's where I'm going with that one. So let's start. I'm using the peach Bellini. It's the lightest color. I'm going to stamp one down here. And remember, no two cards are going to be exactly alike. And then I'll do another one. I'm going to turn it just a little. And then a third one over here. Once I started stamping this, I couldn't hardly quit. I had so much fun. I was like, okay. And I did this one up a little higher than I did on that one. But that'll be okay, because they're going to all be different. And this is the tomato soup. Okay, so I could line it up and stamp it. You can see real well where it would go. So then I'm just going to turn it a little bit and stamp it. See? So it's really fun when you're doing it and you're on purpose not lining it up exactly. It makes it go a little quicker because you're not being so precise. Okay. And while I have these two out, let me go ahead and get the base. Stamp off once, and then we'll stamp that there. Okay. So we'll move those two colors aside. And we have the back started. So I'll leave that there. Now let's do the leaves. I have Jelly Bean Green and the Dark Sage. I don't use this color very much, but I know I'm going to start because it's really a nice green. Okay, so you can just put these wherever you'd like them. I'm going to start here. 1, 2, lots of greenery. Like I said, you start stamping and then you don't want to quit because it is fun. It's therapeutic. Let's go right there. One over here. Do one there, and then I'm going to do one right up here. So now we're going to switch over to the Dark Sage and do the little line of it. And remember, you don't want it to be perfect. So you kind of have to remember to turn it where it's not exactly, because it's really easy to line up. There we go. Now, if you don't like the look of it not being lined up properly and you don't like the white showing, by all means, please stamp it where it lines up and where it makes sense to you. This is just something I've seen out there, and it's just really fun to do because you're not having to be so precise. It's just something different. So, but if it really bothers you to do it that way, please, 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 please do it how you feel most comfortable. If you like it lined up, then please line it up. Okay. Now at this point I would stamp the inside like I did on this one, which I already have that layer done. Where did I put him? There he is. So I already have that one done. So it's ready to go. Okay, let's scoot that aside for a moment and we will ink this up in the dark chocolate. If you have a Misty, it's a wonderful tool to use to do this. Gonna huff on it and stamp it. There we go. Also, I'm going to grab my Made with Love by. Gina has a stamp set called Made with Love, and this image is in it, and I use it for the backs of my cards. There we go. And so the back is done when I assemble the rest of it. Okay, on this piece, you can go around the edges with a little faux stitching, or you can just take your sponge dauber and go around the edges and add a little ink, add a little color to it. Okay, so now we'll take the foam squares. Oh, hold on. Make sure I don't get ahead of myself. I think we will put it together first. Okay, this is going to be the back. The inside, I'll go ahead and tape it down with my ATG. And I'll put the measurements up for this as well, but You can really cut it and make it as large or small as you want it, however you want. You don't even have to do it. You can just stamp a flower down in the bottom corner if you want. Okay. So let's get our layering dark chocolate here. And then I'm going to pop this up with the 3D foam squares. I'm going to tie a little bow around it. So we're going to do a fake bow. A pretend little bow. So I like to put a little tape on the ends, or tape runner on the ends. Then you just put this about wherever you feel comfortable. Oh, you know what I wanted to show you. Before I add the ribbon, let me show you this. Okay, we're going to go back to the blue. Remember I told you I'll add some more blue? I was so in a hurry to get this done for you. So I'm going to go back, and it's okay that the brown's on there. It won't show up. And I'm going to add just a little bit more color, but I don't want to get it on my flowers. So just go around and give it a halo. And don't worry about it if you can't get it and you want, just leave it white. It's fine. But you can kind of see, see where the ink is on the dauber. So if I tilt it that way, I can kind of get in there without getting a whole lot on my flowers. I still got a little on there, but it's alright. So it has a little more color to brighten it up some. Okay, now let's add this ribbon on here. I always tape these down because I don't want them coming out from underneath here once the card's put together. And then I have my extra piece to make my little knot. And we're almost done. Let's turn everybody over. I'm going to pop both layers up. And I usually use a ton of these on the back, but I told myself I was going to limit myself to 5 today. I get carried away. I can use a whole sheet. I just love pop dots or foam squares or anything that make it lift up. And once you start stamping with these flowers, you'll just want to stamp lots of stuff with them. Or I do, I know that much. I have enjoyed these flowers. Okay, and then for this one, I think I'll just do one up here, one up here. Okay, and you can put this down lower or higher or however you want it. I'm going to scoot this out to the edge. Trim a little more off of it. Alrighty, so now I have a little bit of bling from my stash. And I'm going to add one of these on here. I'm going to put 3 little rhinestones down here somewhere. And I'm going to put 3 up here just to add some, add bling and catch your eye. And that is the card project for today. I'm so glad you joined me. Let me fold this down and it'll stand up real nice. You have a inside done, the back is done, and you have those beautiful flowers and leaves. Thank you so much for joining me today, and be sure and subscribe to my channel. These items that I used today can be found over at Gina K Designs. Thank you again and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.